Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wiregrass Sports. We're live tonight with high school final scores. Glad you could join us. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it and see what's happening right now. Charles Henderson up 12-6, currently in fourth quarter. Looks like Strawn's going to fall tonight. Delville up over Elba. Eufaula down to Wakulla at the moment. Ayrton and Dale County tied up 21-21 in the fourth quarter. Brantley over Highland Home currently. Ashford down to Rehoboth. And Andalusia trying to fight back to Saraland. I want to thank you for joining us. We're also taking phone calls. Have some coaches on here shortly. Enterprise over North Miami Beach. Carroll up big currently over Booker T. Washington. Geneva County over Sampson currently. GW Long with a lead over Slocum by a touchdown. New Brockton looks like they're going to fall to Providence Christian tonight. Op over Flowmation, that's going to be a final, 21-7. And Zion Chapel falling to Houston Academy, 28-7. That one's going to be a final. Also Luverne with a big win, 34-12 over Geneva. That one's also a final. I'm Brandon Adams. I'll be your host tonight. There's our phone number there. We're taking calls currently now. We'll have some coaches on later. Gene Allen from Pike Lib. They traveled to Selma tonight to play Morgan Academy. They were currently rained out, and that game will be finished tomorrow. We'll have Coach Tyra from Abbeville. We'll also hopefully have Coach Gilcrease from Ayrton once that game is finalized. Coach Scott Riles with a big win, like we just said, with Luverne. Hopefully have him on. Josh Cox from Wicksburg. Also have Will Pouncey from Highland Home and Roland Jones from Brantley. Those two coaches playing each other tonight. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
South Alabama Stockyard, family owned and operated by cattle farmers right here in Southeast Alabama. Come every Wednesday at 12 p.m. and join the best buyers and sellers from all over the area. Whether you come for the experience, looking at getting into the cattle business, or maintaining and growing your farm, South Alabama Stockyard is where all the farmers are. Vendors are on site at every auction, so come on and have lunch with us. Located at 268 County Road 5522, Troy, Alabama.
All right, this is Adam, take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Hook's Barbecue, down-home barbecue in a counter-served setting, located on Emma Drive off of Highway 231 in Troy, Alabama.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
TLC,
Welcome back to Wiregrass Sports. We'd like to take your calls tonight. Call in your scores. You can also comment if you're watching on Facebook. Hit the share button right down there, and we can bring those in as well, your scores. But we'd like to have you call in. If you were at a game tonight, give us a call. Give us a recap of the game that you were watching. We'd love to hear from you. We want to hear from our fans. That's the whole reason of doing this show, was to give our fans the opportunity to be on here. Let's take one more quick break, and we'll be back with Coach Gene Allen.
This is your one-stop shop for pressure washing, landscaping, custom woodworking, and full-service electrical work. Licensed and insured, there is no job too big or too small. They offer flexible hours with no overtime charges, weekdays until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays. With hundreds of satisfied customers from across the Wiregrass, TLC Plus has competitive pricing and the best warranty in the industry. Give them a call today at 334-268-1515.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
And we're back. We got Coach Gene Allen on the phone. Coach, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you got rained out tonight, right?
Yeah, we got the game suspended. We had 3 minutes left in the first quarter, and it's still lightning and raining over here. So we're gonna postpone it and try to start it again tomorrow night at 6.
So
where we left off tomorrow night at 6.
So how much of it did you actually get to play tonight?
We're at 3 minutes and 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
So tell us a little bit about what you saw tonight.
I was really pretty pleased. Defensively we played really well. We didn't give up a first down so far. I mean, they only had like 2 possessions. They were starting the third possession. Offensively, we're doing some things that are new to us this year. So, but I was pleased with what we did. We turned the ball over on downs the first time on about a 30-yard line, and then second time we got it, we drove it down the field, and a little disappointed that we didn't put it in. We had it on the second goal on the 1, and ended up kicking a field goal to go up 3-0. And so the 2 possessions we had the ball, we got points out of one of them and turned it over on downs in the second one. But like I said, I was pretty pleased with what we had accomplished so far.
Anything stand out to you tonight?
Excuse me?
Anything else stand out to you? Any key players or anything tonight?
No, I mean, it was, like I said, Scott Taylor had a good night kicking for us. He kicked one, kickoff and end zone, had the field goal. First kickoff, we followed them up inside the 25. And like I said, defensively, I thought, we played really well. Probably gave up about 15 yards of offense total so far, So, I was really pleased with that. And I thought, offensive line did a pretty decent job pass blocking. We got to do a little bit better job of run blocking. So, but no, and we hadn't run enough plays to really, get a really good look. That's why we're hoping we can get it in tomorrow night, and because we need to work against somebody besides ourselves.
I got you. And one more time for our listeners, what time are you playing tomorrow?
6 o'clock. We're gonna pick it up at 6 o'clock tomorrow night in Selma.
Okay, we're on the phone with Gene Allen, coach at Pike Lib, and they got rained out in the first quarter tonight, and they're playing tomorrow night. I appreciate your time, Coach, and contributing to Wiregrass Sports and everything that you do for the student athletes there.
I appreciate it. Thanks for all y'all do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye. Let's go to Coach Scott Riles from Luverne, where they played Geneva tonight. Coach, you there?
Hey, I'm here. I think cheerleaders just leaving on that bus, and they loud and hollering, but they just eased out.
Oh, that's fine. So you got a big win tonight, Coach. How'd it go?
Well, it went well. With both teams, we had agreement to play our starters and just a regular game the first half, and our guys played well. We moved the ball well, played good defense. It's 34-6 at the half. So for our basically our ones and some of our top subs played, and they did the same. We really played well. From top to bottom, offense, defense. The only breakdown we had, they did run a kickoff back for their 6, where we just didn't do a good job, and they executed well, and we got guys didn't do what they're supposed to, and that's what happens. You give up points.
I hear you. Can you pull your phone back? There you go, Coach. We can see you now. Good job.
Okay.
So great success last year. Let me start out by saying that. You went to the final game, championship game in 2A. So tell me, from last year to this year, what you see that's a little bit different.
Well, we have ability to throw the ball. We can seem to be able to throw the ball just a little bit better. Our guys, receive. We've done a lot of work with our guy that's really a new quarterback for us, Tanner Simmons. So he's in there. He's throwing the ball well. Our receivers, majority of them are back. So we think we can, move the ball a little better throwing this year than we actually could have in the past. So that could be a big plus for us. All of our offensive lines back. Those guys did a really good job. And, so offensively, we're pretty good. We lost a lot of starters off the defensive side, but the ones we got in there now, they really stepped up, played hard, and I'm really excited about that side of the ball too.
Good. I know last year one of your biggest things was strong defense. You had a really strong defense, probably the best defense in 2A football in the state of Alabama. So how do you feel this year you're matching up to that?
Well, I feel good about it. Like I say, we lost a lot of good players, but Coach Horn is our defense coordinator this year. He's, long-time coach around in our area. He's been with me all 5 years. This is my 5th year, and he's been with me all the years. So he's doing a good job, working hard, and we feel good about our team. We really flying to the ball, and secondary sound. Our front line's good. Our linebackers, of course, led by Eric Gregory, who's, the 2A lineman of the year last year, so he kind of gets everybody in the right place.
I got you. Well, congratulations tonight, Coach, on a big Jamboree win. And who do you have next week?
Next week we go to Georgiana. They always loaded, so that'll be a good test for us.
Well, good luck to you next week, and hope we hear from you throughout the season, Coach. Good luck to you.
Okay, Brandon. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate your time. And you had it there from Coach Riles from Luverne, traveling to play in a Jamboree, took on Geneva, and come away with a big win tonight. They were state runners-up in 2A last year, making it to the championship game and fell short. That game has a big story to it because there was a controversial play that went into replay for the championship game, and it was overturned. A touchdown was overturned, and they had to kick a field goal. That team ended up losing by 2 points in the championship game. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more final scores and some more coaches.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Know-how, Napa Know-how.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At nfhslearn.com, you can find over 60 courses for coaches, administrators, officials, parents, students, and performing arts programs, including over 25 free courses such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. For more information, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Preston's Steak and Grill in Troy and Laverne serves quality food cooked over a wood-fired grill. Call us for any event you may need catered. Located at 1647 US 231 Troy and 149 Forest Avenue in Laverne.
Welcome back to Wiregrass Sports. We've heard from two coaches so far. We've got one on hold currently. Coach Tyra from Abbeville. They were off tonight. But let's take a quick look at some scores right quick. And looks like Enterprise is going to pull that one away with Booker T. Washington there. Charles Henderson still up over Pike County. And Strawn's going to fall tonight. Brantley still up over Highland Home. Delville still has the lead over Elba. Eufaula trying to fight back to Wakulla. Geneva County with a big lead over Sampson. Ayrton-Dale County appears they're still tied up 21-21. Not sure if that score is updating. If you could comment on this or call in, we'd love to have you call. Rehoboth leading over Ashford currently. I know Coach Tyra was at that game. He may have a final for us and give us an update on that game. We'll bring him in just a second. Sarah Land with a big win over Andalusia. Enterprise looks like they're going to knock off North Miami Beach tonight. That's going to be a big win for them. I know there was talk about a school coming up like that and playing in Enterprise and possibly beating Enterprise. A lot of people thought Enterprise would fall, so that's going to be a big win for them. GW Long currently 21-14 over Slocum. Providence Christian over New Brockton. Opp with a big win over Formation tonight, 21-7. Luverne, we just spoke to Coach Riles. If you missed that, catch the replay, 34-12. Very happy with his team. Says they're passing the ball a lot better this year. Everything's just as strong as last year. Houston Academy, big win over Zion Chapel. And let's go to Coach Tyra now from Abbeville. Coach, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
How you doing tonight, Coach?
Not bad. Just rolling in the house, man. Just I actually kicked out of the Ashford Rehoboth game about probably about 4 minutes left in the third. Rehoboth was up at that time. I think they were up 22-14, and then one of my assistants was still hanging around there to watch some of it. And he gave me the last score. Rehoboth was up 38-14. So they were kind of running the ball on them a little bit. I think just heat and everything on both sides, but it seemed like Ashford was catching a little bit more than anybody. So, it looked like a real good game on both ends. I know Rehoboth went and watched them last year in their opening on both of them, but Rehoboth looks like they've kind of had a little bit of a turn, and Ashford's, they're doing a little bit of something different, as far as preparing for them next week. They've got some things that, that caught my eye, but physically, they get after the ball on defense, and offensively, they got some things that, we've got to be concerned with. So, but it's a good view of the game.
Well, good deal. I know you guys were off. You've been preparing. You didn't play a Jamboree game this year, but tell me what you got in mind for next week and what you're seeing this year on your team in Abbeville, because, you guys made a good run last year, got put out by Luverne in the playoffs. That game was covered by Wiregrass Sports, and, they went on to the final championship game. So what's your take on your team this year, sized up, what you look like compared to last year?
We're behind, schedule where I'd like for us to have been coming into, the first week of opening, practices for the fall. And I've told our kids, we're all scheduled right now. I don't feel like, we're in the overall team shape that I'd like for us to be in, that we normally have been in, because, it's several kids that's been with me, and they've, having to take on some new responsibilities, working and, other duties, with school over the summer. So, and I don't have a problem with that. These, guys striving to do something different, which is what I want them to be doing. So, but I've got a good core coming back. Everybody that was on that team that was underclassmen, every last one of them returned. I've got some new faces that I think has got to get up to speed in a hurry and feel like they can help us out. That's the thing that I guess for me I'm concerned with, is how quick those guys can get on schedule and get into where we've been and where we want to be at. Because I think the expectations of those guys returning, they're high, and they expect to win, and they expect to go out and compete. And be able to get in everybody's face and, let them know they've been there for 4 quarters. So, I believe we can, barring any injuries like everybody else, and we can, get in a rhythm in a hurry. I think, we can, kind of, be right there in the middle of everybody and have a chance to, be up front again. I mean, I really believe this group can. We just got to gel in a hurry.
Well, we know there's a strong following behind you and a group in that Hive Nation, and they sure showed their support last year, and I'm sure you're hoping they do the same this year. And we know there's those returning players after making the playoffs, they're high expectations, really high expectations.
Oh, yeah.
So is there any new guys that you've got now that may be a standout player this year, or any player specifically that you want to mention?
There's really the one interesting story I think is unique because everybody don't have the opportunity, and definitely don't have a kid that can do it, or you're not going to do it. Last year, he's senior this year, Nathan Hall. Beginning of the year, the kid that was coming into the season was going to be my center. Now, be mindful, Nathan, the last 3 years has been a skill guy for us. He's been running fullback for us, and he's, he can bring it downhill on you pretty good. So, going up, leading up until week 0 last year, I'm trying to find centers. I've gone through, 3 or 4 guys that's been on the line, and just trying, not really trying to sacrifice any position, but we just come down to that last week before we go over to McKenzie, and he comes up and says, "Coach, I'll do it." And I, when we thought, I wouldn't want to try and pressure him or anything, but I just told him, I said, "Have you ever sent a snap?" Then no, sir. But we just saw him do it a couple times and saying, "Well, we'll see." But didn't want to take him out of the backfield because he does a really good job. One of my better blockers, runs it hard, knows everything in the offense, knows where he's supposed to be. Well, anyway, long story short, kid comes in and says, "Coach, I'll do it." And we're prepping him through the week, and he's taking snaps, and I realized we may have something. And that joker, he took off, and 12 games, 13, whatever it was with spring, with the preseason game, 13 games. That's what I'm going. He made us a different team up front, and he just knew the offense and got to a point to where I noticed in a practice one day, we're running one of our inside run schemes, and turns out he's made a call, and he gets one of the guards stay. He's not pulling. He's going to cover for him, so he snaps and he's pulling. I'm like, okay, we got something now. This cat knows what he's doing. So, he turns out to be that guy. And this year, he goes out, and I asked a couple times, put him back there in the backfield where that devil last year, and takes a snap. First snap he gets, he breaks it off for about 50 yards for a touchdown. I just think, in my mind, I said, that kid, he just running mad. He'd wait for his time to do it. But same time, I believe him being on that offensive line has made him a totally different player. He's running with a chip on his shoulder now, and he's got a little bit more lead in his butt that he already had. But he's a totally different player. Now let's fast forward to now. That kid may be my quarterback this year at times.
Wow.
So yeah,
well, I know that's what you look for in a player is that kid that no matter what you tell him to do, he's a go-getter. He'll get it done, and it's almost like good management with a good employee, because you can tell him to do something and you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to micromanage that kid to make sure it's done.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I told somebody, that I think Coach's Day, just sharing the stories too. It's what I hope that as a coach that makes me proud. That guy, he was sacrificed what he'd been doing. He saw the bigger picture and felt like he could help us out there, and did a great job. Went, took us to a 10-2 season, second round playoff. Unfortunately, ended with Laverne, but that sucker, he did everything we asked him to. As a coach, he is the model and the image of what you want to be. He's the ambassador of what what's going on. He's the model of what I'm hoping our program is turning into. And so that was very big of him. And he's one that I think he's going to have a great season. We keep them healthy. As far as some guys, I got Martavis Clanton returning as a running back. He'll be a DB for us this year. He's going to do some things on special teams for us. Rico Dozier, running back and linebacker, has been with me. And all these guys, this is the thing, this is key. Everybody here talks about they're playing young and all this, that, and the other. That's garbage. Not everybody's playing young. My linebacker core started out 3 years ago as 3 8th graders. So everybody's rolling in. Everybody I think can play. They're on the field on Friday nights. If they're 8th grader or 9th grader, I'm gonna put them on the field on Friday nights, and I'm willing to get beat with that. I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. But what I knew though, if they'll stick with it in another couple of years, nobody's gonna want to deal with it.
Right.
So knock on wood, we've strung together 3 years, and we've had some success, and hopefully we can. There's always that cycle or whatever, but trying to put things back together and finding a team that builds, finds a different character and a different identity. And this team's that's what they're doing right now. They're having to figure out a new identity because, I've had kids the last, 3 years that, over the summer, they're calling me 6, afternoon, hey coach, we're going up the field, nobody's there, but we want to go up. They're up there working out, 6, 7 guys up there running, pulling the hill and just things like that. And I've been spoiled in that, so it's just a good place to be. And then hopefully we can continue to keep doing that and get these guys bought in and continue to keep trying to put pressure, on some of these teams and just kind of be the thorn in some folks' side. And, that's all I want us to be. I just want us to do, be
just compete.
Some great kids, great models, and, come on the field and be, as hard-nosed as you can and, be respectful, but about the game. And, and that's what I want, and just, learn something each week. And that's all I'm asking. Their coach is a turd. I push and prod and probably, more than, most, but, I don't hold anything back on them. And that's, but they respond to it because, I try and make it chaotic because on a Friday night, it could be chaotic. And if if they respond well to me, I feel like they'll respond well on Friday night.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time, Coach, and coming on Wiregrass Sports with us and the time that you give to student athletes. That's a big sacrifice, and we appreciate it here with Wiregrass Sports. And I want to say good luck to you and hope we hear from you throughout the season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for having us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach Robin. Tyra from Abbeville.
Yes.
Well, we are taking your calls. The phone lines are open, and we would love to hear from you what game you were at tonight, the score of the game that you were at. You can either comment below if you're watching on Facebook. We would appreciate you hitting that share button over there. Let everybody know that Wiregrass Sports is live with a live scoreboard show. Let's take a quick break, and we'll have some final scores and give some updates when we come back.
Our Laverne Veterinary Hospital. Our goal at Laverne Veterinary Hospital is to provide the ultimate care because our animal friends teach us more than we could expect and love us more than we could hope. Dr. Troy Jones, Dr. Lewis Jones, and Dr. Brittany Reynolds will treat your pets like family. Mr. Perry Hill is available by appointment for your furry friends' grooming needs, serving you at the convenient location of 918 South Forest Avenue in Laverne.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shed? Mm-hmm. That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Maurice Gracie today.
South Alabama Stockyard, family owned and operated by cattle farmers right here in Southeast Alabama. Come every Wednesday at 12 p.m. and join the best buyers and sellers from all over the area. Whether you come for the experience, looking at getting into the cattle business, or maintaining and growing your farm, South Alabama Stockyard is where all the farmers are. Vendors are on site at every auction, so come on and have lunch with us. Located at 268 County Road 5522, Troy, Alabama.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Welcome back to Wiregrass Sports. We have Coach Roland Jones. Looks like he's still on the field. Hey, Coach, are you there? Hey, Coach Jones, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. If you could pull your phone back just a little bit so we could see you, that'd be great.
All right.
There we go. That's a little bit better. How's it going tonight, Coach?
Well, it's going. We just got through.
And how did you guys look? How'd you finish? You want to give us a little recap?
Well, the final score was 26-21. We played our first team the first half, and then it was 20-13 at halftime, and then we played some younger guys the third quarter, and then we played our JV in the fourth quarter, and we ended up with a 26-21 victory.
Well, good deal, good deal. I know it was a jamboree, really doesn't go down in the books, but is there anything that stood out to you, some players that you were looking at, in the preseason, hoping you could get some production out of?
Well, I thought our guys competed hard, went down 14-0 in the first quarter, and our guys didn't quit. I didn't have really no individual player that stood out. We're trying to build a total team aspect of it all. So, there wasn't nobody really stood out. I was proud our guys didn't quit going down 14-0 early.
Well, we appreciate your time, Coach. It looks like you may be tied up still on the field, so I won't take much more of yours, but we appreciate your time at Wiregrass Sports coming on with us, and hope we hear from you throughout the year. We also appreciate your sacrifice to the student athlete, and good luck next week and throughout the season, Coach.
Thank you so much. I appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look at some of those scores again now, and let's see what's going on around the Wiregrass. Pike County still down. Looks like it's going to be 12-6. Charles Henderson with a victory there. Eufaula not able to come back. Falling to Wacola there. Elba going to fall to Daleville tonight. Geneva County with a big win over Sampson. Enterprise. And it looks like it's going to be a close game there. Enterprise and North Miami Beach. Headland with a big win over Strawn. Dale County is going to go up over Ayrton, 34-27. Hope to hear from Coach Kilcrease here shortly. Ashford's going to fall to Rehoboth. And Carroll with a big win over Booker T. Washington. GW Long over Slocum, 21-14. And as we stated before, Opp over Flowmation, 21-7. Andalusia is going to fall to Saraland, 42-20. You see there, Houston Academy win over Zion Chapel, 28-7. Luverne with a big win, 34-12 over Geneva. We just heard from Coach Jones there, Brantley. Hopefully we'll hear from Will Pouncey here in a minute. He may be tying things up. Brantley 21-26 over Highland Home. And we said Charles Henderson 12-6 over Pike County currently. We have a special guest tonight that I am thoroughly excited about. This is a friend of mine. Glad to call this guy friend. Known him for years, and you may have heard him on the Rick and Bubba show. You may have read a poem that he's written. You may have been going to a wild game supper, and he showed up, and he was the speaker. It's my honor to bring in to Wiregrass Sports tonight, Mr. Lee McBride. Mr. Lee, how you doing, buddy?
Fantastic, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, and I guess it's good, you know, you like coming to South Alabama, but I guess it's good that you can speak in South Alabama without having to come. How about that?
That's exactly right. Yeah, but I'd just soon be down there. Some of the best food on this earth right there where you're from.
I understand. I'm sure that's one of your most happy things. A way to the man's heart. Right. Well, I'll just let you take it. If you want to explain, you know, what you do and your, you know, current relationship with student athletes and you know, tell the Wiregrass Sports fans a little bit about what you do.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on a fantastic show, and what a great concept, and I'm proud that you are doing what you're doing. But I do speak in a lot of different venues. I do a lot of wild game suppers, 5 weeks of youth camp every summer, and I'm just a preacher's kid who's been preaching since I was 19. I grew up with a couple heroes, my dad and a guy named Jerry Clower. And I learned early the power of telling a story. A few years ago, I had a dream about maybe starting to speak to high school football teams. And I met a guy named Mitch Hamilton who had founded Water Break Ministries. And the reason I was so excited about calling in tonight is because we do 100 football talks every August. We hit 100 football teams in 30 days. Just share one water break, put them on a knee, take the helmet off, 5-minute story. And it has been fantastic. I've spoke to 74 football teams since July the 29th.
Well, that's fantastic. Fantastic. You want to tell us, you know, give us one of your 5-minute spiels or?
Well, sure. Like a lot of times, you know, people ask me all the time, how are you still doing youth camps at 53? And I tell them people still love to hear a good story, and that's not going to change. And I've always been an avid high school football fan. You know, I played in Georgia at Lincoln County High School for the winningest coach in Georgia high school football history. I love high school football. And like, for instance, I'll tell them about an Old Testament warrior named Shamgar. Very few people have even ever heard of Shamgar. One verse about him in the whole Bible, Judges 3:31. You know, Shamgar, after Enoch, the son of Anath, came Shamgar, who took up an ox goad and killed 600 Philistines. He too delivered Israel. And I'll ask those boys, those ball players, to be honest, how many have heard of Shamgar? Very, very, very few have. And then I'll ask them, how many have heard of Samson? And you get a lot of hands raised. And I just tell them I'd rather, if I had to pick a teammate, I'd take Shamgar over Samson every day of the week. And I make the comparison that Shamgar was coachable. Samson had all the ability and talent in the world, but his life ended up being a shadow of what it could have been. He had supernatural strength, was given 5 rules to live his life by, violated all 5 rules. And you got poor little Shamgar over there, one verse about him in the whole Bible, but he too delivered Israel. And I talk about attitude. You know, Maxwell says your attitude will affect your altitude more than your aptitude. And I talk about young men, their approach to playing football and being coachable. You know, Brandon, hearing is a sense, but listening is a skill. And the ability to listen to somebody who cares about you, trying to make you better, and then applying that and moving on to your next challenge is invaluable. And, you know, just stories like that. And I try to help coaches out. I want to be known as a friend to coaches. Coaches, I'm a preacher's kid. Coaches a lot like preacher. They receive a lot of criticism. Some of them receive criticism even when they're winning. I mean, you can only put 11 kids out there at a time. Somebody up there is mad at you. But I've found after talking to 350 football teams in the last 4 years, that these coaches are high caliber, quality people who care about young men. And I just want to thank Mitch Hamilton, the founder of Water Break Ministries, for letting me come and be a part of that. That's just one of the things I do, but
Looks like we're losing you there, Lee. Maybe a bad connection. I know video's been spotty, but audio was good. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with some more scores, see if we can get some more coaches, and hopefully we'll get a story out of Lee McBride. We'll be right back. Hook's Barbecue, down-home barbecue in a counter-served setting, located on Emma Drive off of Highway 231 in Troy, Alabama.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
TLC Plus is your one-stop shop for pressure washing, landscaping, custom woodworking, and full-service electrical work. Licensed and insured, there is no job too big or too small. They offer flexible hours with no overtime charges, weekdays until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays. With hundreds of satisfied customers from across the Wiregrass, TLC Plus has competitive pricing and the best warranty in the industry. Give them a call today at 334-268-1515.
We're back here at Wiregrass Sports. We've still got Lee McBride. Let's see if that connection's a little better now. Lee, you there, buddy?
yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hear you loud and clear. Go ahead with what you were.
I just want to say this, Brandon. I know the game started late and you got some coaches calling in. Let me just say this. I just believe in young people. I believe in the sport of football. I believe it teaches some things that nothing else on this earth can teach. And I just want to be known as a friend to coaches. If you would like me or Coach Mitch Hamilton to come do a 5-minute talk at your school, I think you've got my email up there. It's the best way to get me to Lee at leemcbride.com. And, there's nothing more exciting on this earth than high school football. And I'm so proud of you, Brandon. This was a good idea, and you worked hard and saw it come to fruition. I'll plan to be calling in every week if you'll let me.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely. Only if you promise to give us a story.
I'll do a little funny pretty much every night, but tonight I just wanted to make sure people knew about Water Break and what we're all about.
Okay. Yes, sir. Definitely. We'll work on your connection, too, so the video will be as good as your audio.
All right,
get
brother.
it done. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, let's go and take a look at a couple of scores and see what's going on around the Wiregrass. Hopefully get some finals here. And Daleville with a win over Elba. Ashford's fallen to Rehoboth if you're just joining us. Carroll over Booker T. Washington. I had an update on that one. That score is going to be incorrect. It was, I know Carroll had scored 41 points, so that score is not going to be updated. Looks like G.W. Long over Slocum. Luverne over Geneva. Highland home going to fall to Brantley in that jamboree. We heard from Coach Jones. If you missed it, go back and check out the replay of the show. Charles Henderson there going to be over Pike County 12-6. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back. Hopefully get some more coaches on here shortly.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Napa Know-How.
Welcome back to Wiregrass Sports. The phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to hear from you, whatever game you were at tonight. If you know someone that was at a game, call them. Give them this phone number. Tell them to call in to Wiregrass Sports. We've got a caller on the line now, Neil Armstrong. He commentary on the Charles Henderson game tonight. Neil, you there?
Yeah, I am. I just wanted to give a shout in. I'm not sure if y'all had a caller yet about the Charles Henderson Pike County game, but I was on the broadcast, and we were live on TC2 tonight. And, man, what a defensive game the Pike County Bulldogs and the Charles Henderson Trojans put on. The 2 defensive fronts for those teams are just really, really stout, and they really put on a performance tonight. It was a defensive struggle. Both teams struggled in the kicking game. I mean, from bobbling muff punts to missing extra points to squib kickoffs. The kicking games were horrendous for both sides tonight. So Coach Fred Holland and for Pike County and Coach Brad McCoy for Charles Henderson Trojans, both squads got a lot of work to do, Brandon, on the kicking games and the special teams games right there. But I'm going to tell you, I've watched a lot of high school football over the last 35 years, and those 2 defensive fronts and linebackers for Charles Henderson and for Pike County, they got some dudes, both teams. I mean, the final score was 12-6, Charles Henderson. But, man, oh, man, I'm talking some big licks, free safeties and cornerbacks coming up and stopping the run on the corners, and the defensive lines and linebackers just stuffing it up the middle. We had a couple of goal line stands on both sides. It was just a really old-school defensive struggle tonight. And I was enjoying being on the call on the television broadcast, and it was just a real good old-school defensive game.
I know I was watching, and there was one I got to see there where Pike County drove down the field. There was actually 2 penalties on Charles Henderson, which give them 30 yards, free gain for Pike County. They get down there and score a touchdown, but the officials say he stepped out of bounds. Tough call.
And we did, and it was a tough call. We had it on slow motion replay on our broadcast, so we were able to see it on our monitor in slow motion and also show our viewing audience a replay on that. And why he stepped out, I don't know, because he was not forced by any Trojan defender, but he sure enough stepped out at the 12. It was a good call by the official, and I know that that Rayshawn Reynolds or whoever it was in front of the ball for Pike County will really beat himself up when we're stepping out of bounds at the 12, because the Trojans came up with a huge defensive stand after that play, and Pike County had it 1st and 10 from the Trojan 12 and did not score.
That's a tough break. Difference in the ball game.
You're right.
So who does Charles Henderson have next week?
They got the Enterprise Wildcats coming to Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's a home game for the Trojans, and last I checked, the Enterprise Wildcats were beating North Miami Beach by a touchdown or so. So Enterprise with a new coach, a new system. The coach they had coming in has several state championships from the state of Florida, and I'm sure he'll be bringing in a winning tradition and a winning system to Enterprise Wildcats. there in Enterprise, and they have really, really bought in and invested a lot of money in bringing that coach from Florida. So the Trojans will play Enterprise in Troy next Friday night at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Well, I know you're excited about it. It's underway. High school football is underway, and we hope to hear from you every week, man. Give us a call back.
Man, either myself or my co-host Wally Lowry will be calling in. Y'all got a good show going. I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me call in and talk about Charles Henderson Trojans football. And each Friday night, I'll do my best to call in around 10 o'clock or a little after 10 and give you a Charles Henderson Trojans update, either myself or Wally. I look forward to it, and I appreciate y'all taking my call.
Yes, sir, no problem. And if you want to hear more Neil, check him out on Sunday nights at Troy Cable on Facebook, Sports Chat with Neil and Wally, and Troy Cable Channel 2. Give us a little spiel about Sports Chat with Neil and Wally.
Yeah, Wally and I, we do our Sports Chat with Neil and Wally on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock. We've been doing it a couple of years now, and we love covering local high school sports. We also check us out on Facebook, Sports Chat with Neil and Wally. Give us a like, and if you want to get a good laugh, check out our commercials. And we have a good time cutting those commercials. And but every Sunday night, Troy Cable Channel 2. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube. Sports Chat with Neil and Wally. We really, really try to give back to the local kids in Pike County, Crenshaw County, Coffee County, down in Ozark, and Dale County, and Geneva County, and Houston County. Everywhere that the Troy Cable umbrella covers, we really try to cover those kids and give those high school kids a voice. And Wally and I have a great time doing it, and we would enjoy everybody tuning in. Sunday nights at 6 o'clock, Sports Chat with Neil and Wally.
Yes, sir, Neil. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, brother, and look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, man. Y'all take care, man. You got a good show going. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Let's take one more quick break, and we'll come back with some final recaps. I know Coach Will Pouncey from Highland Home had to jump on the bus. Bus was waiting on him to head back to Highland Home from Brantley. Hopefully he'll be there shortly, and hopefully we'll hear from Coach Gilcrease. We'll be right back.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At NFHSLearn.com, you can find over 60 courses for coaches, administrators, officials, parents, students, and performing arts programs, including over 25 free courses such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. For more information, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Preston's Steak and Grill in Troy and Laverne serves quality food cooked over a wood-fired grill. Call us for any event you may need catered. Located at 1647 US 231 Troy and 149 Forest Avenue in Laverne.
We are Laverne Veterinary Hospital. Our goal at Laverne Veterinary Hospital is to provide the ultimate care because our animal friends teach us more than we could expect and love us more than we could hope. Dr. Troy Jones, Dr. Lewis Jones, and Dr. Brittany Reynolds will treat your pets like family. Mr. Perry Hill is available by appointment for your furry friends' grooming needs, serving you at the convenient location of 918 South Forest Avenue in Laverne.
We're back live here at Wiregrass Sports. Let's see if any of those scores have updated yet. And let's take a look. Daleville over Elba, if you're just now joining us. Rehoboth over Ashford. Carroll, hoping to hear from one of their fans. I know is going to call in here shortly. I know that score is incorrect. They won big over Booker T. Washington. GW Long over Slocum. Luverne over Geneva. Brantley over Highland Home in that jamboree. We heard from Coach Jones. If you missed that, catch the replay. Charles Henderson over Pike County. We just heard from Neil Armstrong on that one. And Wakulla going to put out Eufaula tonight up over Flowmation. Saraland over Andalusia. Geneva County 54 over Sampson's 37. And Enterprise falling in North Miami Beach, 34-31. Close game there. Houston Academy over Zion Chapel. Beauregard with a big win over Strawn. And a final on the Dale County Ayrton, 34-27. Hope to hear from Coach Kilcrease here, as that was a really, really appears to be a good game. We know it was tied up 21-21 for a while there. And hoping to hear from some more coaches as well. Will Pouncey on his way back to Highland Home. We've got a caller. There's our number. Won't you give us a call if you're watching, if you went to a game tonight, if you know somebody that went to a game, give them this number, have them call in, give us an update. You can comment below on Facebook, and we can show that as well if you've got a score update that way that we haven't got to. It is week 0, ladies and gentlemen, so it's just Jamboree games, nothing in the record. And we'll start week 1 next week with finals. Week 1 of the season. Let's go to a caller now. Mr. Joshua Hodge.
How's it going, Brandon?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. We just wrapped up opening night here at Veterans Stadium with a 12-6 victory of the Charles Henderson Trojans over the Pike County Bulldogs. A in-county battle here.
Yeah, I was able to watch a little bit of it on Troy Cable's broadcast. I heard you giving a little color commentary there as well. One of the biggest things I saw was probably penalties. You know, like I just said, we are in week 0. So what was your take on the game, the entire game?
Well, you're absolutely right. One of the big takeaways for Charles Henderson, obviously you're happy to get the win week 1. Didn't think they were really able to establish their run the way that they probably wanted to. But they had 5 personal foul penalties, 1 that eliminated a turnover. Was fortunate to have 1 other personal foul penalty that was offsetting 2 unsportsmanlike penalties early in the game. They cleaned up their turnovers. They had 3 turnovers in the first half, kind of cleaned that up in the second half. But both teams struggled in the kicking game. And, Pike County just couldn't keep drives together. They actually outgained Charles Henderson on the ground by nearly 60 yards. Only the 2 pass plays on the game and just could not sustain drives was the downfall of Pike County. Also, another big concern, Brandon, if you had been able to tune in to the end of the game, Charles Henderson had a lot of fatigue, a lot of cramps. The game was stopped almost every play there for a stretch in the 3rd and 4th quarter. So conditioning may be a factor these first couple of weeks with a big matchup next week against against Enterprise for Charles Henderson.
Well, good deal, good deal. I understand that you'll be commentating for Troy Cable this year too, so tell us where you're going next week.
Well, next week we'll be right back here at Veterans Stadium. We were actually supposed to be in Selma covering the Pike Lib game, but due to some technical difficulties on their end, we were here for the in-county game tonight. But Enterprise, who's playing North Miami High School tonight, they're actually going to be traveling and taking on Charles Henderson here at Veterans Stadium next week. So be sure to check that out if you're a Troy or Enterprise fan. We'll have the Trojans back-to-back weeks as they take on the Wildcats, who's got a new head coach making some headlines down there in Coffee County.
Yeah, and they fell to a really close game tonight in North Miami Beach, just falling 34-31 there in Enterprise.
Well, I appreciate you updating that score. Enterprise had a slight lead the last I saw, so I see that North Miami made a comeback.
Hey, Josh, I appreciate you calling in, brother, and hope to hear from you next week.
You will, Brandon. Thanks. Appreciate you. You're doing a great show. Hope everyone enjoys what you're doing over there at Wiregrass Sports.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's take one more quick break, see if we can't get Coach Will Pouncey on, and we'll be right back.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shed?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Maurice Gracie today.
South Alabama Stockyard, family owned and operated by cattle farmers right here in Southeast Alabama. Come every Wednesday at 12 p.m. and join the best buyers and sellers from all over the area. Whether you come for the experience, looking at getting into the cattle business, or maintaining and growing your farm, South Alabama Stockyard is where all the farmers are. Vendors are on site at every auction, so come on and have lunch with us. Located at 268 County Road 5522, Troy, Alabama.
All right, this is Adam. Take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Hook's Barbecue, down-home barbecue in a counter-served setting, located on Emma Drive off of Highway 231 in Troy, Alabama.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
TLC Plus is your one-stop shop for pressure washing, landscaping, custom woodworking, and full-service electrical work. Licensed and insured, there is no job too big or too small. They offer flexible hours with no overtime charges, weekdays until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays. With hundreds of satisfied customers from across the Wiregrass, TLC Plus has competitive pricing and the best warranty in the industry. Give them a call today at 334-268-1515.
I want to thank you for joining us tonight on Wiregrass Sports. I just got a text from Coach Will Pouncey. Give me just a second and let's see what he says. I'd really like to get him on here as contacts. He's on the bus, still headed back to Highland Home, so we'll get up with him next week in week 1. This is week 0, just a jamboree week. Nothing on the books yet. These are still, just like a spring game. I want to thank you for joining us. Hope you tune in next week. Hit that share button if you're watching on Facebook. Here's our number again. Write it down so you'll have it for next show so you can call in. You'll be waiting to come on Wiregrass Sports. Hope to hear from you. Have a good night and see you next week.